Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA Car Kits in 2013 Toyota Camry, and today we're going to show you how to install this Android based stereo. As you can see, it features a 10-inch display. It's a huge upgrade over the original radio. You're still able to do phone calls, radio and Bluetooth music, but you can connect this unit to a personal hotspot or Wi-Fi network to use apps like Maps, Waze, Spotify and so on, and you have full access to the Play Store. This unit also supports Apple CarPlay and AndroidAuto, both of them. So we're going to quickly demonstrate Apple CarPlay. So we're going to use our optional CarPlay module. We have it connected by the cable to our iPhone. We're going to launch our apps, and we're going to launch AutoPlay app. And here you have the standard Apple CarPlay. So you're able to do phone calls, music, and so on. And it's a safe way to use your phone while driving. So it's a very good feature. And the same with AndroidAuto. And when you're using CarPlay, it will use the data from your phone, and you actually don't have to connect this unit to a hotspot. So now we're going to show you how to install our Android stereo in this 2013 Camry. So the tools you're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, a 10mm socket with an extension, a panel removal tool, and this is also part of panel removal tools. We call it the hook. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to remove this vent above the radio. So we're going to use our tool to get behind here, and it simply comes off. Next step is to lift this panel. Just held on clips like that, and we're gonna leave it here without disconnecting anything. Next step will be to remove these two side panels. They're also just held on clips, and just simply pull out. So there's one, there's the second one. Next would be we're gonna use our flathead screwdriver. And you gotta make sure that the foot brake of the car is on, so it doesn't roll anywhere. I'm gonna remove this small piece. Gonna press it down, and we're gonna unscrew the shift knob counterclockwise. Next, we're gonna lift up this panel with the cup holders. That, and there's one connection here. They simply press on the clip and it comes off. Next, we're gonna take our Phillips screwdriver. We're gonna go ahead and remove these 4 screws. So there's 2 here and there's 2 here, and we're gonna go ahead and do that. So now that we removed the 4 screws, next thing we're gonna remove the 2 bolts in the center armrest. They're both 10mm, and we're gonna use our extension which we showed earlier. So now this panel, the center panel, can move backwards. Can you just grab it and just move it slightly backwards? So now you have space to remove this, maybe a little bit more. So here we're gonna remove these 2 connections. Again, we're just gonna press on the clips. Just like that, and then we're gonna put this away. Now again, we're gonna use the same 10mm with the extension. So we're gonna remove the 2 bolts on top, here and there. And then there's 2 bolts here. So there's one right there, and then there's one right there. So once the 4 bolts are removed, we're going to remove the radio. It's only held on clips, so we're going to use our panel removal tool to kind of get it underneath, just like that. And we're going to pull the radio back. So now at the back you can use a flathead screwdriver to press on every clip and remove it. And there's also one clip underneath. That's for the black one, that's for your heater controls. So now we're gonna take the original radio and we're gonna have to do a few things with it in order to transfer some parts onto the new Android stereo. So one of the first things that we're gonna do is remove these 3 bolts on each side. So there's 3 here and 3 on the other side. And then we're gonna remove the clips. So the clips, to remove the clip, we're gonna use our hook tool. You basically have to get underneath one side and then the other, and it simply comes off. There's teeth on each side. So we're gonna go ahead and remove all these clips. As you can see, we removed the upper clips and these side bolts. Now we're gonna remove this the heater control panel from the original radio. So you simply have to rest it and unclip it from the original stereo, and it will look like this. So we're gonna put this away for now. And here there are 4 more clips, and when you're removing them you gotta see that they have a flat side, and here they're just installed opposite. Same on this side, and these clips are different than the ones we removed from, because they have the dual sides. So just keep an eye out when you're installing these back onto your Android stereo. So we're gonna go ahead and remove these clips the same way. So now this is our Android stereo. So the first clips that we're gonna install are these ones. The ones that are one-sided. Now we're gonna take our heater controls and we're gonna keep the bracket on, but we're not gonna this one side, that's the other. So you gotta make sure that it gets clipped on all the way. And once it does, we're not going to be using these bolts, so the ones we removed from the original stereo you can put back into the original stereo so you don't lose them in case you want to go back to the original radio. So after installing the bottom piece, you're just going to make sure to transfer all the clips onto the Android stereo, and they simply clip on. And now we're going to show you how to install our microphone and GPS antenna into the A-pillar. And then once we install the clips and wire that, we're going to show you how to do all the wiring at the back of the stereo. So we have here our microphone and GPS that comes with the unit. We're going to put them both here. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to remove this side panel. It simply unclips, and when you're putting it back, you got to make sure that this front goes in, and then you clip it in. Now we're gonna use our, again, panel removal tool and drop this panel down. Same with the other side. And we're gonna peel back the leather stripping. So we're gonna take our microphone and the GPS. After you have them up there, we're just gonna stick them on later, but for now you're just gonna run the wire down, and when you're running it down you put back the weather stripping. When you're doing this step, take your time, because we're trying to demonstrate quickly. And at this point, gonna put the 2 connections behind there and kind of pull them through so you have them on the inside of the car, and then you're gonna tuck in the rest of the wire. like that, and you gotta make sure that the panel that goes back in is not in the way. And now we're gonna continue with these wires on the inside. So we're gonna continue fishing the wire to the back of the stereo, and you're gonna loop it around the metal brackets, just like that. Then there's a second metal bracket here. So like I said, our goal is to have it behind the stereo, and then when we put all the panels back, the wire is not going to be visible. And again, don't pull the wires too fast in order not to damage them, as these metal parts are sharp. So we're almost at the back of our stereo. I'm gonna pull the wire through, and at this point, because it's long, you can use the cable ties that came with these wires and just make it smaller because we don't need it so long. So as you can see here, we made the two cables more neater. Now at this point, once we fed the wires through, we can put this panel under the steering wheel back. It just simply clips on, and then you can put the side piece, the black one. So now we're gonna take, this is the harness that comes with this radio. So everything is plug and play. So the first wire we're gonna start with is this gray one. This is for our original USB, for it to still work. So you have to use this cable. Next, we're just gonna take our harness, and you're gonna match every connection to the connection of our harness. So it's very easy, you don't have to modify any of the wiring. And then of course it's gonna plug into the back of our stereo, which we're also gonna show you. Just like that, and then you're gonna have two connections that are left unplugged, and that's fine, because it's for two different setups for this particular vehicle. You're also gonna do the antenna. This is this one, and this end is gonna plug into the back of our stereo. We're also gonna take a cable which plugs into the back of the stereo, and if for the auxiliary to work, we're gonna do the two auxiliary connections, just like that. And then if you're gonna be installing a rear view camera, you're gonna be using this cam VIN connection, and this just simply goes to the back of the stereo. And now we're gonna show you how to wire the USBs. So for the single we showed you, for the double USBs, you can either wire it to the glove box. Here you can remove this piece and have the cable like that go into the back of the stereo. So simply because it's such a hole, you can do it like that and then put back the plastic piece. Or because you have everything open here, if you would like, you can wire these two USBs into your armrest. And because this console is kind of removed right now, you can make a hole into the console and just feed this wire there. We're gonna do it to the glove box. So this is the back of our Android stereo. So we did all the clips, we transferred the heater controls and the upper clips. So the next thing is just to do all the connections. So this is for the auxiliary and optional rear view camera. This is the main power to the radio. Make sure it clicks. You also have to plug in this box on the harness. It comes, some connections are going to be loose, like I said, because it's to fit multiple vehicles. This purple one is for the original USB. Then we're also gonna wire the GPS. Also the microphone gets plugged in here. Also part of our kit, you're gonna have this antenna for the Wi-Fi signal. The last part is the USBs into the glove box. And they get plugged in right here. Antenna plugs in right here. So that's pretty much it for our setup. So now we're gonna install our radio back. Make sure when you're installing it that no wires are in the way. So before clipping the radio in, this connection you also have to plug in. So plugs in to the back of our heater controls, and you gotta make sure that it's with the clip up. It's just the cable is not that long, and it's easier to plug it in when the radio is in this position. And so now you clip the radio in, and you gotta make sure that there's no gaps, and there's no gaps. So now we're gonna put the 2 bolts on top and 2 bolts at the bottom, and then show you how to assemble the rest of it. So after the 4 bolts, we're gonna clip in the top panel. Everything clips in place. Now we're gonna take our vents. Same thing, we're gonna put them back. Now we're gonna put back the middle compartment, and don't forget to install these 2 connections. So there's the black one, and then the one for the 12-volt socket. Just like that. Now we're gonna take our center console, and when you bring it close, you gotta make sure that it clips on. As you can see here, there's 2 clips on each side, and it's simply when you put it in and just put it down. And now we can put the 4 screws, 2 at the bottom and 2 on the top. So now we're gonna put back the 2 bolts, the 2 10mm bolts in the console, and tighten them. To put the cup holders back, make sure you don't forget to plug in the connection. Front piece has to go in first. Just like that. And now we're gonna install the 2 side pieces. So when you're putting them back, make sure you line up the clips. We should clip back on. Now we're gonna do the passenger side. Just like that. And the last thing is the shift knob. And you gotta tighten it clockwise. And we're gonna put this piece back. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and test the unit, make sure that everything is working properly. So now we're gonna turn the car to accessory position to test the radio. Once the radio turns on, you gotta make sure that the sound is working. So simply as you can test it
now is the time
by going to AM FM radio.
And enjoy retirement.
So everything is working. You're also gonna check if your steering wheel controls are working, and they are. So all of that is working. You're also gonna test the USB cable that is charging, or if you have the optional CarPlay dongle, you can plug it in there. And we're gonna test with the iPhone, and it's charging, so everything is working. And at this point, you're gonna go ahead and change your time. You can connect the radio to a Wi-Fi hotspot, and it will set the time and time zone automatically. And you're gonna play around with all the settings. We also have a separate video on how to use this radio completely with all its features and so on. So at this point, the installation is complete. Again, this was a video for GTA Car Kits and a 2013 Camry. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.